I turned 35 on a chilly October night, not a big deal in my book. Just another year older, maybe some cake if I was lucky. My wife Lena had been hinting all week about a special surprise for my birthday, and I'll admit I got my hopes up. Things between us had been off lately, not blowout fights but this quiet, icy distance that felt worse somehow. 7 years of marriage and we'd settled into a rut I couldn't climb out of. Still, she'd been buzzing with excitement, always on her phone, smirking at some secret. I figured she was planning something nice, a dinner, maybe a weekend trip, to patch things up. Call me a sucker, but I wanted to believe she still cared. Work dragged late, because adult life doesn't give a damn about birthdays, and when I got back to our little townhouse, it was dark. My phone buzzed with a text from Lena. "Meet me at my parents' place for your surprise." I frowned. Her folks' fancy estate up in the hills wasn't where I'd choose to celebrate anything. Victor, her dad, never let me forget I came from nothing, and her mom, Celeste, always asked about my little teaching job, like I was still a broke grad student, not an assistant principal. But I shrugged it off. Maybe Lena was trying to smooth things over with them. I grabbed my jacket and drove over. When I pulled up to their iron gates, the driveway was packed with cars, shiny Autos and BMWs, the kind of money I'd never touch. Inside, the foyer sparkled and I heard voices from the living room. I walked in expecting a party, but the air went dead the second I stepped through the doorway. Lena stood by the fireplace, her auburn hair glowing, but her smile was all wrong, tight, fake, not reaching her eyes. Her parents were there, her brother Miles, some cousins, and a few family friends I'd met at awkward Thanksgivings. They held champagne glasses, staring at me like I was the punchline to a joke I didn't get. "Ethan," Lena said, her voice sharp, "we've got something special for your birthday." Victor chuckled low and mean and my gut twisted. Before I could figure it out, she pulled an envelope from behind her back. For a split second I hoped, it was plane tickets, something to fix us. Then she hit me with it, "Surprise. I'm leaving you for someone who doesn't drag me down." The room went silent, except for Victor's laugh cutting through like a knife. I stood there, brain stalled, as she shoved the envelope into my hands, divorce papers already filled out, her signature glaring at me. "We never thought she'd settle for someone so ordinary," Victor said, grinning like a shark. Good to see her come to her senses. Celeste popped a champagne bottle, pouring glasses like it was a damn toast. I looked at Lena, the woman I'd loved since grad school, and saw nothing but cold victory in her eyes. They wanted me to cry, beg, give them a show. Instead, something in me locked up, calm and hard. I scanned their smug faces, Victor, Celeste, Lena, and felt weirdly detached. "Can I borrow a pen?" I asked, my voice even. Lena's smile slipped, thrown off. Victor handed me his fancy Mont Blanc, still smirking. I walked to their glass coffee table, spread the papers out, and signed every line, slow and steady. The only sounds were my pen scratching and some cousin clearing their throat. When I was done, I looked at Lena and said, "Best birthday gift yet." "Thanks." Then I turned and walked out, no slamming doors, no yelling, just left them standing there, confused as hell. In my beat-up Honda, I gripped the wheel, the night dark and endless ahead. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Something clicked inside me, a quiet resolve I didn't know I had. Whatever was coming, I'd handle it my way. I don't know how long I drove after leaving Victor and Celeste's place. The night blurred past my windshield, streetlights, empty roads, the hum of my Honda's engine. My birthday, my marriage, my whole damn life had just imploded, and I ended up at some hole-in-the-wall bar called the Rusty Anchor. Neon sign flickering, sticky floors, the kind of place Lena would have turned her nose up at. I slid onto a stool, ordered a whiskey, and let the burn settle into my chest. Another followed. My phone buzzed nonstop, Lena's texts lighting up the screen. "Why didn't you say anything? Are you seriously not going to fight for us? You're just proving my point by running." I stared at them, glass in hand, and felt the shock start to crack. It wasn't sadness that hit me, not yet. It was rage, slow and icy, creeping up my spine. 7 years with Lena flashed through my head. We met in grad school. She was this sharp, stunning marketing major from money, and I was the guy grading papers and slinging coffee to pay rent. Her family hated me from the jump. Victor with his backhanded jabs about my humble roots at every Christmas dinner, Celeste asking how my little job was going like it was a hobby. Lena posted our life on Instagram, our cramped townhouse, my beat-up car, with captions about simple joys, like we were some noble hardship case. Meanwhile, she'd compare us to her cousin Paige, who married a tech bro and lived in a glass palace overlooking the bay. The last few months she'd been distant. Late nights at work, coming home smelling like some cologne I'd never afford, smiling at texts she wouldn't show me. I'm not dumb, I suspected something, but I kept thinking if I worked harder, got that promotion to principal, she'd snap out of it. Now, with divorce papers signed and her family toasting my exit, it all clicked. She'd been planning this and they'd all been in on it. 3 drinks in, the numbness faded, and that rage turned sharp, not wild and loud but cold and precise. I thought about what they didn't know. 7 years married to a Warren meant I'd overheard plenty Victor's business trips that smelled like tax evasion, the cousin who bragged about skimming payroll, the drunk accountant spilling secrets at Thanksgiving. I had dirt and I could use it. I pulled out my phone, ignored Lena's texts, and called my buddy Nate. He's a divorce lawyer, the kind who'd chew through a case like it's a rare steak. "You're kidding," he said when I told him. "We're gonna bury them." Next, I scrolled through our shared cloud. Lena never logged out, screenshotting every weird text I could find. Flirty ones from R at odd hours. Then I made a list. Every colleague, every friend who'd hear my side before hers. No going back now. I didn't go home that night. Crashed on Nate's couch instead, waking to more texts from Lena. Smug at first, then edgy. "Where are you? This isn't funny." I smirked, sipping Nate's shitty instant coffee. They thought I'd crumble. They had no idea what was coming. That rage wasn't going anywhere, it was fuel now, and I was just getting started. I woke up on Nate's lumpy couch with a crick in my neck and my phone buzzing like a hornet's nest. Lena's text had piled up overnight, first smug, then confused, now borderline pissed. "Where the hell are you? Call me back. You can't just disappear." I ignored them, downed another cup of Nate's god-awful coffee and got to work. That cold rage from the bar hadn't faded, it had hardened into something I could use, a plan taking shape. If Lena and her family thought I'd slink off quietly, they were about to learn how wrong they were. First move, money. We had a joint account. Nothing huge, just savings from my teaching gig and her marketing job. I logged in, transferred my half to a new account I'd set up months ago for emergencies, and left hers untouched. I'm not an asshole, just not stupid. Nate called while I was at it, voice crackling with glee. Filed counter paperwork at 8 a.m. sharp. Infidelity clause, asset split in your favor. "You got anything juicy?" I told him about the screenshots, those flirty texts from I'd nabbed from our cloud. "Gold," he said. "Pure gold." Next, I rented a storage unit across town. Drove to our townhouse while Lena was probably at some brunch, gloating to her cousins. Packed my essentials, clothes, books, the guitar she hated me playing, into boxes and hauled them out. Took maybe 2 hours and I was gone before she'd notice. No note, no trace. I crashed at an Airbnb after that, a cheap studio with a lumpy bed and a view of a parking lot. Didn't matter, I wasn't staying long. By noon, Nate texted me the update, papers served to Lena at her office. I could picture her face, those hazel eyes narrowing, lips pursing like they did when she was annoyed. Her call started an hour later, one every 10 minutes, voicemails piling up. "Ethan, what the hell is this? You're countersuing? Call me." I let them stack up, unanswered. Then the text shifted, less angry, more rattled. "This isn't how this was supposed to go. We need to talk." "Yeah, Lena, it's not fun when the script flips, is it?" I sat on that lumpy Airbnb bed, staring at my phone, and felt a grim satisfaction. 7 years of swallowing Victor's barbs, Celeste's fake smiles, Lena's subtle digs about my small life. It was all fuel now. I knew, was probably Ryan, some slick coworker she'd been cozying up to. Those late nights working, that cologne, it fit. Nate said the affair evidence would tank her alimony shot, maybe even swing the townhouse my way since my name was on the deed. No kids, thank God, just a clean break with a side of payback. A week in, I was still at the Airbnb plotting my next steps. Lena's calls turned frantic, hourly now, her last text a desperate plea. "Please Ethan, just talk to me." I didn't reply. The rage was still there, simmering, but it had focus. Her family thought I was a pushover, a nobody they could toast out of their lives. They'd underestimated me and I was about to show them what ordinary could do. 3 months after the birthday disaster, I'm sitting on a tiny balcony in a month-to-month rental I found downtown. It's nothing fancy, just a concrete slab with a rickety chair, but at night I can see the stars through the city haze. First time I sat out there with a beer, I felt something I hadn't in years: peace. The townhouse with Lena was gone, sold off in the divorce shuffle, and I'd moved on. Not out of spite but necessity. Too many ghosts in that place, her perfume in the bathroom, her voice nagging me to upgrade our life. This new spot's mine and it's a start. I've been hitting the gym too. Not for some cheesy revenge body thing, okay, maybe a little, but mostly because I needed somewhere to dump all that anger. First week, my arms shook lifting a measly 20 pounds. Now, 3 months in, I've got some muscle definition and the rage doesn't claw at me as much. It's like I'm sweating it out piece by piece. I've reconnected with old friends too, guys Lena never liked. My buddy Sam, who she called crude because he once showed up to dinner with a six-pack instead of wine, has been a rock. We've started weekly poker nights and it's the most fun I've had in ages. The divorce is chugging along. Nate's a pit bull. Lena wanted half of everything plus alimony, claiming she sacrificed her career for me. I laughed when he told me that. Sacrificed what? Late nights texting Ryan instead of working? Those screenshots I grabbed from our cloud, hundreds of them, proved she'd been cheating for months. Nate says her family's sweating it. The Warrens love their pristine image. Victor's always on about values in his golf club speeches. The threat of Ryan's name going public has them scrambling to settle fast. Then Lena showed up. I was clearing out the last of my stuff from the townhouse, some old records, a lamp she hated, when she walked in. First time I'd seen her since that night. She looked off, hair messy, wearing yoga pants she'd never be caught dead in before. Ethan, she started, voice shaky, I messed up. Ryan's not who I thought. Can we talk about us? I just stared at her, box in my hands, that old ache flaring up for a second. But it wasn't love, it was memory. I brushed past her, said, Nate'll call your lawyer if there's anything to say. Her jaw dropped, like she expected me to grovel for a second chance. I walked out and that was that. I've started a side gig too, restoring old bikes. Lena used to roll her eyes, call it junkyard nonsense, but I sold my first one last week on Craigslist for $100 profit. Felt better than any paycheck. The rage is still there, a low hum, but it's not driving me anymore. I'm building something, muscle, friendships, a life, and Lena's fading into the rear view. She doesn't get it yet, but I'm not the guy she ambushed anymore. 3 months into this mess and I'm still digging through the wreckage of my old life. One night, I'm poking around our shared cloud storage, grabbing photos from a camping trip I didn't want Lena deleting, when I stumble on a folder labeled Work Notes. Created right around when she started acting cagey. Call it paranoia, but I clicked it. Not notes. Hundreds of screenshots, texts between her and Ryan, going back 8 months. Pet names like Babe, plans to meet at hotels, emojis out the wazoo. Selfies too, her laughing in a bar I didn't recognize, him shirtless by some pool. She told me she was working late those nights. Guess Ryan's abs were part of the quarterly report. I forwarded the whole damn folder to Nate. His reply came in 10 minutes. Holy hell man, this is a jackpot. I sat there staring at my laptop, that cold rage flaring up again. Not just at her but at how stupid I'd been, ignoring the signs, hoping she'd come around. I made 3 things after that. 1. Keep my head on straight, focus on me, not just revenge. 2. Let Nate handle the divorce, no direct contact with Lena. 3. Start nudging my life into something she'd regret losing. Her family's business took a hit not long after. Victor's real estate firm lost a big investor. Funny timing, right after I grabbed lunch with my old college roommate Jake, who works for that outfit. Didn't say a word about the Warrens, just caught up over burgers. Jake connected with me on LinkedIn later though, and I didn't stop him. Next thing I know, Lena's sister Tara, the only decent one in that clan, texts me. Says Lena's a mess. Ryan dumped her after Victor tried pushing him up the company ladder, and now she's spiraling. No job, no family cash, cut off cold. I've been posting bits of my life online, not flashy, just real. A shot of a bike I restored, a hike with Sam, poker night laughs. Lena's Instagram's gone dark, no more #blessed nonsense. Tara says she's watching though. Her best friend liked one of my posts at 3 a.m., then unliked it fast. I smirked at that. Then, on what would have been our anniversary, my phone lit up. Lena, I know you hate me. I can't stop thinking about us. Ryan was a mistake. My family was wrong. I miss your dumb puns, how you'd hum while cooking. Please, can we talk? I'll beg if I have to. 5 more texts followed, each needier. The last one, I'm outside your place. Please come down. I peeked through the blinds. There she was in her silver Lexus parked in the lot, staring up. I made coffee, hands steady, and didn't go down. Part of me wanted to hear her out. Old habits die hard. Part of me knew it'd unravel everything I'd built. And yeah, a petty part wanted her to stew just like I did at her parents' house. I closed the blinds and went to bed. The anger's still there, quieter now, but I'm not sure what I want anymore. 6 months since that birthday nightmare and I'm in a different world. I ditched the rental for a small house, a fixer-upper with creaky floors and a yard big enough for a grill. The divorce wrapped up 2 months back, cleaner than I expected. Nate played the affair card like a pro, and Victor's lawyer folded fast. I've got my bike restoration gig humming along, not enough to quit teaching, but it covers beer and Netflix. Life steady, quiet mine. Then last Thursday it got weird again. I'm sprawled on my couch, halfway through a pizza and some overhyped show I'm too stubborn to ditch, when my Ring doorbell pings at 11:30 p.m. I check the app expecting a lost delivery guy. Nope, Lena's Lexus parked across the street, lights off. I freeze watching the feed. She doesn't move for an hour. I try ignoring it, head to bed, but sleep won't come knowing she's out there. At 1 a.m. my phone explodes. Text from her. Ethan, please, I know you're home. 5 minutes. I've been trying for weeks. I messed up so bad. I've got nowhere else. I've been sleeping in my car 2 days. I drag myself to the window. She's reclined in the driver's seat, that car Victor bought her years ago, looking rough even in the dark. Part of me, the spiteful part, wants to let her rot out there. But I'm not that guy. I throw on a hoodie and sweats, head down, and tap her window. She jolts upright, makeup streaked, hair a mess, fumbling to unlock the door. She nearly falls out and the smell hits me, not booze, just stale fries and desperation. She starts babbling, tears mixing with words. Ethan, I'm so sorry, Ryan screwed me over, my family's done with me. It takes a minute to piece it together. Ryan wasn't just her fling, he'd been leaking Victor's business secrets to rivals. When Victor caught on, he fired Ryan, who bolted with files and dumped Lena. She'd covered for him at work, fudging numbers because she loved him, and when it blew up, Victor cut her off. No job, no allowance, no fancy condo. She'd burned through friends' couches and now here she was car camping outside my place. I ask why not her parents' estate. She laughs bitter. Dad's under investigation. Ryan ratted out his shady deals. Assets frozen, they're downsizing. Karma's a hell of a thing. I let her inside, not for a reunion, just because it's freezing out. She steps in, sees my place, normal furniture, a couple plants I haven't killed, and starts crying again. It's so nice here. I make coffee while she spills it all. Her family pushed the divorce thinking she'd trade up with Ryan, plan that birthday stunt to break me. She realized too late it was a mistake, but pride kept her silent. She begs to try again, says she's grown in 6 months, wants to move in while she figures things out. I let her talk, then say, thanks Lena, for the divorce. Showed me who you all are. Made me rebuild. She stares, stunned. I offer the couch for one night, no more. She nods, shell-shocked. I'm not her lifeline anymore, and she's just starting to get it. Morning comes fast after Lena's late-night meltdown. I'm up early, brewing coffee in my little kitchen, the smell grounding me while she's still crashed on the couch. She looks smaller somehow, curled under a blanket I tossed her, not the polished Lena I knew. I fry some eggs, basic decency, not a peace offering, and she stirs when the pan sizzles. She sits up, hair tangled, eyes puffy, and mumbles a thanks as I slide a plate her way. We eat in silence, the weight of last night hanging between us. Then her phone rings, shattering it. It's Victor. She puts it on speaker. Old habit, I guess, and his voice crackles through, stripped of that smug edge I remember. Lena, we're in deep. Investors are bailing, the feds are circling. You said Ethan's doing well, can he help? I nearly choke on my coffee. The guy who laughed while they toasted my divorce is begging me now. Lena's eyes dart to me, a weird mix of hope and shame. Victor rambles on. Ryan's leaks tanked their real estate empire, and they need industry connections to survive. Maybe Ethan could meet me, talk opportunities. Mutual benefit. I lean back, letting the absurdity sink in. 6 months ago I was ordinary, beneath them. Now I'm their lifeline? Lena's watching me, waiting. I clear my throat, loud enough for Victor to hear. Not interested in your deals, Victor. But I know someone who might help. Mia? She's a friend I've been seeing lately, sharp as hell, runs a consulting gig turning around failing businesses. Nothing romantic yet, just easy talks over coffee, but she's more real than Lena ever was. I'll text you her info, I say, and hang up before he can grovel more. Lena's face crumples. She gets it, not just that I'm not taking her back, but that I've moved on. She starts crying again, softer this time. Ethan, I'd do anything to fix us. I've changed. I didn't see what I had. I cut her off, gentle but firm. You can't crash here past today. Figure out your next step. Call Tara, she'll take you in. Her sister's always been solid, the one Warren who didn't treat me like dirt. Lena nods, defeated, and an hour later she's gone, backpack slung over her shoulder, Uber pulling away. At the door she turns. Can you ever forgive me? I pause, then say, I already have. For me, not you. Holding on to anger's too damn heavy. She leaves and I feel lighter. Later I adopt Rusty, a scruffy mutt with a limp and a grin, best call I've made in years. The house feels alive with him padding around, stealing socks. The bike gig's picking up too, sold 2 last week. Victor's call was the last twist in this saga. 6 months from champagne and divorce papers to Lena sleeping in her car, begging me back. I hope she sorts herself out, but I'm done caring. Meh. I'm eyeing a road trip, just me and Rusty, no luxury hotels required. Life's mine now, and it's better than I ever thought it could be.